Welcome back to another video, and in today's video we have a tier list, but this time it is WrestleMania 41 matches. We're a few days removed from the event, so we had a few days to kind of sit on matches, kind of get a new opinion on them, maybe watch it a second time, but yeah, interesting to see where we both put them at, and yeah, it should be pretty fun.
Yeah, some of these watches I'm watched a second time, some I didn't want to watch a second time for obvious reasons. But yeah, we're gonna go into this and try to figure out exactly where these ones rank. Because some of these matches, maybe the matches were good, but the finish was bad. So you kind of have to rank them somewhat high, and things of that nature.
Yeah, we started the show with Jey Uso taking on Gunther, where Jey Uso did get the win in a match that obviously everybody wanted Jey Uso, kind of knew Jey Uso was going to win this match, and overall was a solid match. However, the ending is probably where it kind of gets knocked down a few star ratings or whatever, but yeah, so what do you think though?
Yeah, I mean, it was a pretty solid match. We see Jey Uso do a big power bomb to Gunther. We've seen him do a Hurricane Rana. A few, new things that he usually doesn't do in his matches. The match was overall pretty good, but as you mentioned, the ending, him tapping out, that's just not cool. Not something that we wanted at all. So I'll probably say 2 stars. Realistically, probably in the middle of 2 and 3, like 2.5, 2 3/4, whatever. But probably 2, maybe 3.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with 2. Again, probably the same thing where I'd probably have it like a 2.75. But yeah, overall wasn't a great match, but not a awful match either. But next up, we had the Raw Tag Team Champions on the line, where the Warriors lost to the New Day to become 7-time, I believe, Tag Team Champions. And what was, again, a match that didn't have a lot of build to it. Not many people wanted this match because they wanted the other tag team belts. So it's kind of just a big, unfortunate situation overall.
Yeah, the New Day, one of the best tag teams in the world. Unfortunate that they got this spot because it was a spot that no one wanted to see them in. Mm-hmm. And you kind of hate to have like a team that's of that nature, someone that's that highly regarded, and they're at a point where you're like, I don't want to see your match. Like, get off of Mania. The SmackDown one just deserved it more. The SmackDown one would have been better. I do think the right team won, and the match was decent. So I think I will rank it right above Gunther at 3 stars, I think. Maybe 2. I don't know. It's kind of, what do you think here?
Yeah, it's one of those things where, like, it is probably like a 2.75 to a 3, so, like, there's not much of a difference. However, I'd probably say 2.75 because I think at least the moment of Jey Uso winning, although I didn't necessarily want it, it's finally over and we got the moment. The celebration on Raw kind of won me over in a way. I'm kind of glad, he won it. So I probably would put it in the same tier as the Jey and Gunther match.
Yeah, I think that's fine. The match was nothing to write home about. It was the definition of a Raw match.
Then next up, we had Jade Cargill performing her first singles WrestleMania match, taking on Naomi in one of the best builds, and an also pretty solid match. But what do you think, though?
Yeah, I think this one's going to go right in the 3 stars for me. Mm-hmm. My favorite moment of the match, probably everyone's favorite moment of the match, is going to be Jade Cargill. She has Naomi in a fireman's carry position and does a pop-up power bomb from there, or whatever you want to call it. Looked amazing into the Jaded, of course, and she gets the big win at WrestleMania. First singles women match without a title in however many years that they claimed. But yeah, really good match. Really kind of a good starting point for Jade Cargill to take off on her singles career.
Yeah, this match definitely delivered. It's about as good as I expected it to end up turning out. But yeah, pretty fun match. I wish there was a bit more to it, but I think that finish is probably as good as it's going to be, so I don't mind it too much. But next up, let's move on to LA Knight taking on Jacob Fatu, when Jacob Fatu picked up the win and is your new United States champion.
Yeah, this match was surprisingly good. Whenever we did our predictions, I predicted it to be a very short match, something that wasn't too exciting. Just Jacob Fatu just kind of just destroying LA Knight a little bit. Fortunately for LA Knight, it didn't turn out like that. He didn't get squashed at all. He got a lot of offense in. In fact, the beginning of the match was LA Knight just kind of kicking Jacob Fatu's ass around the ring. But Jacob Fatu was the right choice. He was the right winner. It was a good match. So probably same tier as the Jade and Naomi. I'll put it right at 3. I don't think it quite hits that 4 stars.
Yeah, I definitely put it in the 3 as well. Definitely overachieved for a lot of people's expectations, like you mentioned. I don't think there was a big hype around this match, but it ended up turning out pretty good. So yeah, just for it overachieving adds a little bit to it. Next up, though, we had El Grande Americano, who was supposed to take on Rey Mysterio, but ended up taking Rey Fenix on, and El Grande does get that win.
Yeah, this match, we've seen some cool things. We've seen Chad Gable, or American Grande. He hits like a 450 into a sense, like a backwards 450. I don't know what it was, but it was really cool, really nice. But yeah, for a match, it was the shortest match of Mania outside of one match. And yeah, this was decent, but nothing to write home about. What do you think? I'm in the middle between 2 or 3.
Yeah, I'm definitely on the 3. So I probably would put it 2. And for me, it's just like a nothing match to me. Rey Fenix losing as well kind of sucked. I know that it wasn't supposed to be this way, but it just kind of was. So yeah, I wish they maybe found somebody else better to fill that Rey Fenix spot. But yeah, I'm gonna put it in 2 stars though. Next up, though, we had the Women's Championship match where Charlotte took on Tiffany Stratton, and Tiffany Stratton retains her title.
Yeah, this was a decent match. I expected it to be better. The build wasn't great until the moment happened on SmackDown or whatever. So yeah, I had higher expectations for it that wasn't really met. So I'm gonna say maybe I give it 4 stars, maybe I give it 3. I'm on the fence here.
Yeah, I think overall was a solid match. There's a few mishaps where things didn't look as crisp as you obviously would want it to be. But that's just pro wrestling at the end of the day. But for me, I probably would put it in the 3 still. I don't think. I think 4 is kind of like this is going to be at least a contender for match of the year and stuff like that. And unfortunately, I don't think it is in that contention spot right now. So in the main event of night 1, we also had the triple threat between Seth Rollins, CM Punk, and Roman Reigns, where Seth Rollins comes out on top, has Paul Heyman turn on both Punk and Roman Reigns, and yeah, is a new Paul Heyman client.
Yeah, this match was awesome. It was the perfect kind of starting point to what we would see on the following Monday Night Raw after. It was one of the best Monday Night Raws that we've seen in recent memory. The match was good. The story was good. The turn was good. I don't think it quite meets that 5-star mark for me. We do have some 5 stars on here. However, I don't think this quite meets it. But, if it was to meet 5 stars, I wouldn't be mad at it either, though.
Yeah, I'm going to still put it at 4 as well. This is probably better than what I expect it to be. A Roman Reigns match can always be really 50-50, whether it's going to be really fun and entertaining, or is it going to be a bloodline type of match where there's run-ins, it's slow-paced, a lot more talking, and just a bit more stuff like that, whereas this match felt a lot more physical. Everybody kind of had their moments with each other, and yeah, it was really fun, but I don't think it makes that 5 yet, so I'd also agree and put it in 4. And then we start off night 2 with probably the first 5-star match, and that is Rhea, Io, Bianca for the women's title, and what should have been a main event in hindsight, looking back at things.
Yeah, this is one of the best women's matches in WrestleMania history. This is one of the best women's matches in wrestling history. Yeah, this is just an amazing triple threat match that seems to be the tone of the entire WrestleMania weekend. The triple threat matches really proved that you can do good triple threat matches. That's kind of been a thing in WWE where triple threat matches, people try to stay away from. You rather do a fatal 4-way if you are going to go multi-man. However, in this year's WrestleMania, we've seen 3 amazing triple threat matches across it. Maybe we should have added Stand and Deliver here. If you do want to see us do that, then we'll do that in a future video. But yeah, this is definitely a 5-star match. All women deserve all the credit because this was just amazing.
Yeah, and we followed that up with Drew McIntyre taking on Damian Priest in a Sin City street fight, where Drew McIntyre ended up with the win.
Yeah, I think this is going to go into 4 stars for me. It was surprisingly really good. We've seen really good spots. We've seen the double table spot where Damian Priest goes for the Undertaker's old school on the top rope. He gets shoved going through the tables. The ending was really what won me over on the match. We've seen an amazing Claymore where the chair was stuck in the corner of the ring and he does a Claymore to his head onto the chair. But yeah, this was a great match. I watched it a second time. It was very brutal at moments. We seen Drew McIntyre hit Damian Priest with the steel steps once, and he kind of catches it with his hand. The second time, he doesn't really catch it. Seems to really hit his head a little bit right there. Maybe he was trying to get a little blood going or something, but it didn't really work. And he hits him a few times on the back, which is brutal as well. But yeah, this is a really good match. Yeah,
this match is really, again, kind of unexpected in a way, because you didn't know how this match would be. Would Drew McIntyre come out and, try to have fun, make it the best thing out of of a situation that he probably didn't necessarily want. He probably wanted a bigger match, which can't blame him, obviously. But obviously he's a pro's pro, and he came out, worked his ass off, and him and Damian had a great match. Was kind of underrated in a way. I don't know if I'd put it 4. I'm thinking about a 3, but I also don't mind putting it at a 4 because it did overachieve, I think, as well.
Yeah, I think I'm going. Only reason why I put it at 4 is because also they were kind of the only people who got entrances. Damian Priest had a really good Slayer entrance, and Drew McIntyre had some kind of promo related entrance. I forget exactly what game it was for or whatever it may be. But the entrances really won me over here. Pretty cool. And yeah, just everything about this match was really good in general. So I do think it deserves that 4 stars.
Fair enough. And next up, we had a fatal 4-way for the Intercontinental Champion, where Dominic Mysterio beats Finn Balor, Braun Breaker, and Penta in what was a crazy moment, kind of unexpected to me, and got seeing Dominic Mysterio get a big pop as a babyface in a way, and yeah, just a great match with a very surprising winner and a great moment.
Yeah, this match is also going to go into the 4 stars for me. I think it was very intense. There was a lot of action moments. We've seen Braun Breaker spear everyone in here just like we wanted. We've seen Dominic Mysterio get the win, which is what I wanted. The crowd just naturally turned him face randomly through the whole night. They're chanting Dirty Dom, Dirty Dom. It continued on Monday Night Raw. It continued on NXT even during Liv Morgan's match. But yeah, this was a crazy match. It was a good kind of split that we've seen between Dom and Finn, or at least the start of it. So yeah, I think this match was awesome.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Again, it was a match to where you very well knew it could be a great match. You didn't know if this would be like a TV style match where it'd be a little bit slower, but they kind of all were just going back and back and back and back just to have a very fun match. So yeah, I definitely agree that is in the 4 tier. But next up, we had Randy Orton versus his open challenge opponent, who ended up being Joe Hendry, TNA's very own, in what was kind of a squash match, kind of not. But where do you rank it at?
Yeah, I think this was an amazing moment. It might not be a 5-star match in ring quality, of course, because it was a little under 4 minutes, I believe. But yeah, this was a really good moment. It was a fun moment. The crowd popped for it. The entrance was awesome. The ending was funny with Randy Orton doing the turn. He also does the second RKO. He gave him his props after the match. Joe Hendry enjoyed the moment, and this was very good for TNA. A lot of people, they say WWE doesn't give indie talent credit. They don't give indie companies a chance to do different things. And then when something like this happens, some people still complain, and this is a huge moment for a smaller company, and it was just a massive moment for a TNA World Champion to appear at a WrestleMania in general. Not only that, but to face Randy Orton in his 20th WrestleMania on the John Cena's final run WrestleMania. Like, that is a huge spot for someone to get. So yeah, it was really good for me. I'm gonna say 3 stars just based off of everything I said.
Yeah, a part of me wishes maybe Joe Hendry got a little bit more offense. I don't want this match to end up tearing. It's like a 20-minute match, obviously, but I wish it went a little bit longer. Maybe Joe gets a close win after hitting his big finisher. But I probably would put it in 2, but I get for the moment putting it in 3 just because it was very surprising. Kind of thought it'd be Rusev or Malachi Black, or maybe a Jeff Cobb even, or just somebody who was basically not Joe Hendry. So I think in fairness I will have to give it a 3, but mainly because I am kind of happy for Joe Hendry to finally get his big one. So yeah. Next up, we have AJ Styles versus Logan Paul in one of the matches that we thought would steal the show potentially, which ended up being probably the biggest dud of the show.
Yeah, this match, I think it was the longest match outside of the Night 2 main event, which is kind of crazy. So yeah, I think it was like right under 18 minutes, something of that sort. But yeah, I expected it to be good just based off of, we're going to get a cool Logan Paul spot. You're basically guaranteed a celebrity spot every year. And I was like, all right, at least, we'll get that from it. And that's always pretty fun at the very least. Especially with an AJ Styles. Like, he could work a celebrity or someone like that and make it look really good and fun and all of that. But we didn't get any of that. This was set out there as seemingly to be a wrestler's wrestling match. As if it was AJ Styles versus, Samoa Joe or something like that. And unfortunately, it didn't fall under that case for Logan Paul. It wasn't a terrible match, I'm not going to say that. But being that it was WrestleMania, being that it's AJ Styles, being that you had the amount of time that you did have, you definitely didn't give us what we wanted out of this match.
Yeah, I don't know what went wrong with this match because although I don't like Logan Paul, he is pretty good at doing, some special moves in the ring. And AJ Styles is obviously one of the best of all time. So I kind of hope this match would have come out better, and I wish I would have had to hate it because, it would have been so good. But it ended up, like I said, being kind of a dud. Again, it had a lot of time, and it was pretty boring in a way where I was just so surprised in a way. I was like, am I just being a hater? Or am I just don't like Logan Paul or something like that? But overall, I just didn't care for this match at all. So if I had to give it a rating, I'd probably put it in the 2, but honestly, maybe even the 1 as well.
Yeah, yeah, I could go into 1, honestly. I think that's very appropriate for this match as far as the mood that is set for the night, because night 2 was an amazing night, and when it came to this match, the crowd went quiet. I went quiet, my mood went down, and this was the only really dud of the night. Obviously, there's a main event that we'll get to in a little bit, but that really wasn't a bad match necessarily. We'll get into why it was bad in a little bit.
Yeah, and then next up in the co-main event, we had the women's tag team champions defended, where Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez lost to Lyra Valkyria and the returning Becky Lynch. This is supposed to be Bayley, but she got attacked the night before, and Lyra ended up calling big homie Becky to come save the day.
Yeah, this was unexpected. Obviously, if you've been watching the channel for a while, you know Bayley is one of my favorites of all time, so I would have loved to see Bayley in this spot. I'm hopeful that the Bayley thing is just a way to give her a better story going out of Mania. That's what I'm hoping for. Maybe I'm too optimistic here. But yeah, it seemed to have been, just kind of thrown together last minute. The match wasn't great. The match was very short. Becky didn't really take any, hits or anything. She kind of got the late tag in. She got her offense and got the pin, and she won. Obviously, this was a setup for, once again, the Monday Night Raw coming after, because Becky turns heel on Lyra and all of that junk. But, the match itself, probably a 2-star match. Nothing really to write home about. The Becky pop was good. Lyra having her moment and her entrance and her ring gear with the feathered arms and all that was pretty cool. And Liv and Raquel, they're always awesome. So, yeah, probably 2 stars. If you want to say 3, fair enough.
Yeah, I'm going to put in 2 as well, though. I usually, for some reason, don't like the chemistry that Liv and Becky tend to have. And this one kind of wasn't too much different. I don't think they lucked up too much in the match. But yeah, it was kind of just there for the next night, which I kind of wish they just did a turn on the night and just had Liv and Raquel retain the belts, and Becky's just pissed that she came back just to lose, and then that was set up a big turn and a big moment for Lyra, have a big WrestleMania moment, but unfortunately we didn't get that. The match wasn't awful by any means, but yeah, it just wasn't maybe as good as what I had hoped when I found out that it was Becky Lynch in the match. But in the main event, we see John Cena win the number 17 World Champion, beating Cody Rhodes. It what was a very talked about and very split and divided fan base on what this match is talked about right now.
Yeah, the match was honestly not bad. A lot of people are saying it's one of the worst main events ever and all of this. I definitely don't believe any of that. The match was pretty good. We've seen John Cena pull out some moves that you don't necessarily see him do all the time. He was doing different things. People said that he can't wrestle, so maybe that was him trying to, do a little bit more. It's not like he was doing anything insane in there or anything, but he stepped it up a little bit for a WrestleMania. And it was a pretty solid match. However, the ending being that it was Travis Scott that kind of beat Cody Rhodes in a way. Obviously, Cody Rhodes, gives him the crossroads that's meant to be Cody's big spot of the match, kind of his big, hero spot. However, it didn't hit the same being that The Rock wasn't there. Didn't hit the same being that John Cena it didn't make sense the way that he lost, because he technically lost to like a kick in the nuts and a title shot. He obviously kicked out of an AA and a super AA as well. But yeah, this match just didn't do it for me. I'm going to go ahead and put in 3 stars.
Yeah, I'm going to put in the 3 stars as well. I think the match itself, I don't think was ever going to be, a 5-star Will Ospreay wrestling classic, but I do really like John Cena matches. I do think he's kind of underrated in a way where, it's obviously the moves he might not be doing are the flashiest and the coolest looking, but it's the ring psychology, it's the way he does throughout the match, the selling and stuff like that. So I kind of hoped for better, but it did. The finish was kind of weird. I didn't like the interaction with Travis Scott just because we didn't end up getting The Rock, and the way Cody was kind of acting this match didn't make sense to me. He got beat up. He got his ass beat up a few weeks ago at Elimination Chamber, and then he doesn't want to hit Cena with the belt because he doesn't want to cheat because he's a good guy, when he would have did the exact same thing to you, and you knew that. A little bit confuddled, but yeah, I don't think this delivered on what WWE had wanted, I think.
Yeah, definitely don't like it. It's gonna end up there at the 3-star mark. I wouldn't even be mad at 2 stars, to be honest. But yeah, it falls into that Jey Uso category, and the same category as a few things like even El Grande and Rey Fenix. It should have went a little longer. We shouldn't have seen it end the way it did with him kind of cheating the way he did. I would have liked to see just a more wrestlers wrestling match, because it's 2 of the best wrestlers. I mean, it's Rey Fenix. People say that he's better than Penta. I personally don't say that, but a lot of people do. And Chad Gable is an amazing wrestler as well. He could put on amazing matches, and you know, for that to end the way it did, kind of weird. Same for Jey Uso. Same for Cody and John Cena, and even same for AJ and Logan Paul, being that Karrion Kross came out to save AJ for some reason, and Karrion Kross got the biggest pop of the match somehow. But yeah, it was just very weird being that the endings ended the way that they did throughout WrestleMania.
Yeah, but yeah, that will do it for our WrestleMania 41 tier list. Let us know what you guys would put each one in. Let us know what you think we got wrong and right. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. If you made it this far, don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.